Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me on Veterans Day 2020 is retired Major General Linda Singh to discuss the value veterans bring to the civilian workforce and challenges with financial planning. Major General, it's great to see you again. Thank you for your service and welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time today.
You got it. And let's talk about veterans and what they bring to the table and how organizations can better support them and their families as they transition from military life to a corporate setting and throughout their career.
Yeah, well, I've actually been talking about this quite a bit today. And, the key thing that organizations can do, and as well as families, is, first off, provide that support environment. And for employers, if you have employee support groups, consider setting up an employer support group that focuses specifically on veterans so that you have a diversity of support groups, really, so that you can support any of the different variations and, groups that really can focus in on specific needs. And, one of the things that I found with some of the research that I've done is that support groups are extremely valuable in being able to help our veterans feel like they're connected to a broader community, a broader veteran community. And that really does make that transition easier as long as they know they have the programs there.
We've discussed a lot about veteran employment throughout the day, but one of the challenges they also face is with financial planning. Why is that, and how is the military working with them to try and fix this?
Well, financial planning, it's not just with the military. I think it's also with the civilian environment and making sure that we're teaching financial planning, actual financial planning from early ages and starting up. But when you think about the military, they've just now switched, at least the Army has just switched to a different retirement system. And that retirement system is very similar to what you would see in private industry in terms of like your 401ks and how you manage your overall investments. And so financial planning now takes on a completely different lens if you want to be able to ensure that you have a nest egg when you retire and leave the military. More importantly, I think that we don't do enough of literacy on, financial planning in all of our communities. And so what happens is when you get to the end of your service, you're sitting here and going, well, I'm going to just count on my retirement pay to get me through. And then you may not realize that retirement pay may not be sufficient. So have you really, adequately planned and been able to put more money away, even investing money, so that you have a good level of wealth when you finish your service?
I remember during the course of our earlier conversations, you had mentioned that while in service, there are people that actually monitor your budget, your spending, while you're overseas. So I would imagine having that throughout service, you almost don't have to focus on the financial planning end of it when you come out. That can also be one of the challenges.
Well, and that's an excellent point, because what happens is that, we just know that we're going to have, a nest egg at the end of your service, right? And you don't really think about what you have to do to set yourself up. You're always thinking about the now, the moment. Is your family taken care of the now and the moment? You're not thinking of the longer term. And what I have seen over the years is that you can take and put away $5 a day. $5 a day for 30 years, compounded, depending on your interest rate and getting that compounded interest, that can be a lot of money. Or if you were to take it and actually invest it into the market, then you're looking at your investment actually, multiplying even more. Those are not the things that necessarily you're being taught or even told about when you first enter the service, and it should be.
Yeah, and I would agree with you too, because so much of the focus when we think about numbers and math is focused on STEM, right? Science, engineering, mathematics, technology, all of that good stuff. But financial planning is at the core of that. I feel like you can't get to that level until you understand the basics of dollars and cents.
Absolutely. I mean, the dollars and cents, comes into play not just in our everyday lives and taking care of ourselves. It comes into play in business. it comes into play if you're just going and saying, okay, I'm going to plan a big vacation. Well, you got to start thinking about the dollars and cents aspects of it, right? So it really is something that we just kind of skim over. And I think that I would have to say that just getting a basic finance course, right, has really just escaped our, it's not something that you typically would get in high school.
Yeah, it'd be nice to return to personal finance and, of course, nice civics classes as well, especially in today's day and age. Major General, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.